Dude, how do we get a new entire type of shield? The Phantom gets an insane buff, tons of agents buffed and nerfed, and the newest agent leaked all in one go, not even talking about the newest skins. Valorant just dropped a huge patch. This is probably up there with maybe top 5, top 3 craziest patches. It's definitely going to shake up the game, and I am pretty excited. If you just want very quick patch notes or comparisons, there's going to be lots of great videos. I encourage you to go watch them, but I'm hoping to give some more insight like this right here. This is our next agent in Valorant. It was accidentally leaked by Riot themselves in their latest YouTube video. It's not much to go off of, clearly a very early sketch, but still, there you go. Our next agent coming to Valorant, probably next year, I assume. Anyways, with that being said, let's get straight into it, starting with the biggest change here. The regen shield is now in the Valorant game, and Riot says they want to expand the strategic and tactical possibilities within Valorant and the competitive sandbox by introducing a new defensive option, regen shield, which has now been added to the shop. It costs 650 credits, but some of the key things here is that it damage absorbs 25 HP, it regens 50 HP exactly like we expected, but it absorbs 100% of the incoming damage taken before damaging health. This is crazy. After that, a brief delay, and then the shield will regenerate by draining any remaining points left from the regeneration pool into your health. Now, in case you do not understand how Valorant shields work, most of you will, when you take damage, a percent goes to your health and a percent goes to your shield. That's why you have 60 health but 17 shield left. It is distributed between both. With the regen shield, 25 of the shield has to completely disappear first before it starts hitting my health. It's just a completely different dynamic. It'll have its own pros and cons, I am sure, but it's hard to definitely see its downfalls, because let's say you're swinging through mid and you take chip damage and, you know, they incur 20 damage on you, your health will still be fully 100 untouched, and then you'll have 5 shield left, you run, you hide behind cover, and then boop, 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 you're back to 125. It's just so interesting. It's completely different compared to anything we have right now, but I'm gonna need to see how the pros play with it to really understand where the strategies will lie. Basically, it's just going to be a lot better at sustaining chip damage, but Riot is hoping it'll make the Guardian and Outlaw more prominent because they will be a little bit better direct counters to the regen shield, since you're going to basically do chunk damage. That's the thing. You don't want to do big, large chunk damage to counter it. But either way, no denying it's going to shake up the meta one way or another. Cypher also did get a pretty substantial nerf. There's a half-a-second windup before the full wall hack reveal applies and fades in, which is actually kind of huge because it means it's harder to, let's say, Odin spam before, you know, the enemies explode on sight. You don't get as reliable information on the go with his tripwire, which is pretty interesting. The neural theft, which is his ult, did get the ult cost also increased from 6 to 7. That one is a lot more fair, but when we look at it visually, it looks fine. I don't think it's a huge deal, to be honest. I just don't know if he'll drop from S tier to anywhere else quite yet. Maybe maximum A, because he still does stuff no other agent can do. So while this is still a substantial nerf to Cypher, I still think he's going to be strong. But again, we need to see how intuitive it feels, because sometimes it's not just about raw power when it comes to agent balance. It's about how it feels to play with, against them, and when you're the one playing them yourself. So that's pretty important. Sage did get pretty good buffs, I'm not gonna lie. I think this bumps her up a full tier in an agent tier list, not gonna lie. The healing orb self-heal from 30 to 50 HP, heal time matched to ally heal at around 5 seconds, so you get to heal yourself for more HP at a same pace, so quicker overall. There's also pretty interesting change to her slow orb, which now will additionally reduce the dash speed of enemies caught inside the slow zone by 50%, similar to how concuss works. So she's now also a straight up counter, or a stronger counter to exploding onto sight, right? Dashing straight through is now, this is actually kind of how it should have always been, because that's the point of Sage, slow down that push. And it's kind of crazy, certain, like, Jet jumps over the wall then dashes through the slow. So I think this will actually make her healthier, and the resurrection, her ult, from 8 to 7, also very substantial since her ult was never weak. It's a great playmaking tool. It can change the tide of a match, obviously. So this is great. Sage is definitely more prominent now, 100%. She was like B tier or C tier. She's easily now B or A tier. Like, I don't know if S or the craziest buffs ever, but super substantial to make her potent. And I love to see it because she's fallen from the face of the earth. Not gonna lie. Deadlock got a slight buff. Basically now, if you ult and let's say Sage tried to wall off the cocoon, it doesn't matter. Once the timer expires, that player is dead. So the only way you can survive a Deadlock ultimate now is by getting shot out. That's probably how it should have always been. That makes more sense. So it's just more reliable ult overall. Omen, man, poor Omen. So Omen's been strong, very strong. Tier lists have treated him dirty, but he has been strong for a while, especially in solo play. Now, what they've done to Omen is made it so his smoke can no longer generate one-ways on the fly. They will always fall to the level of geometry, even if you put them through the wall. So there's places where the smoke could hold and you can make one-ways. They will now always fall down. That is the only change Omen got. People are, you know, pretty upset. They're not sure how to feel about it. I do think overall, though, it's fine. I still think he's very strong. I don't even know if it's going to change his placement a lot, because when I think of Omen's potency, I don't just think of the one-ways. You can still put them on some boxes. It just removes some more funky one-ways, but I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it does hurt him, but not enough to dethrone him as a very strong, aggressive solo queue smoker. That's my honest opinion. Clove got some minor adjustments, but it's not a big deal. Time to get a kill after you use your ult from 12 seconds down to 10 seconds. Apparently that was a change made accidentally in the previous patch, but the ultimate's been performing well, so okay, all good. It's just basically now official. Phoenix, though, my golly. Hello, Phoenix. As someone who's been playing Phoenix recently, I am very happy. So Phoenix now applies a heal over time on himself whenever he touches his flame. So you run through the flame, you continue to heal as you leave. So it allows you to cross your wall and hide into a further cover while still getting the healing effect. The curveball, now you get a free flash every single start of the round, and then you need 2 kills to get an additional charge instead of immediately having both. This is an interesting change, but it's the hot hands, which has changed as well. It's not a signature ability as well, so they swapped it, and it costs 200 credits. So this does make a big difference, because you can't double flash immediately as Phoenix, but you can, for example, get 3 flashes over a single round depending on your performance. Blaze, obviously, this one's really cool. Throw in that wall can now go through other walls, which I think is really good. Basically, what they're trying to do is make him a jack of all trades utility duelist, and I think these changes are good. They are a net positive. He is stronger, especially with that touch the flame and move. You don't gotta sit in your flame. It was actually always a weird mechanic. Let's think about it. You throw down your wall into a corner, you throw the fire at your feet, and you sort of huddle like a little rat in a corner to heal up. This is a very good change. You can throw down the wall, peek back and forth through it, getting very consistent healing. W change, overall net positive buff to Phoenix. I don't actually think he'll be broken. I just think he'll be potent, which is great. Maybe from like B to a solid A tier for Phoenix, if I were to imagine how it's going to happen here. But then there's some universal agent changes as well, which is changes to Concuss, which affects duelist movements overall. So Concuss now slows enemy dashes by 50% straight up, which affects Jet's Tailwind and Neon Slide. That's huge. That is a huge nerf to these duelists and the whole moving in Valorant. So now when you think of gun and accuracy changes, which we're going to talk about in a second, I just want to put the point here while it makes sense. And then these changes here, and then we know Neon nerf is coming. I believe the very next patch, 9.11, literally coming up right now. They are trying to slow the game down a little bit here. That's what I believe is happening. Think about it. Even the slow orb on Sage being more, more potent, and Cypher, there's a delay before you get a shoot. They're trying to slow the game down. They're trying to reel back in the fast-paced Valorant to make it a little bit more tactical. That is genuinely my opinion. But what's crazy is only if that was the end. Valorant then went ahead and made massive gun changes. Absolute massive gun changes. So we have pistol inaccuracy changes. All pistols except the shorty. Moving while crouching inaccuracy has gone up, which, okay, they continue to go up. I'm not gonna lie. Classic itself, right click running inaccuracy has gone up by 0.2. Right click burst jumping inaccuracy has gone up. Walking inaccuracy has also gone up. You don't need to know the exact numbers. I'll put them here on screen. The ghost inaccuracy has gone up. Rifle inaccuracy has gone up. Running, walking, same thing with the machine guns. So literally overall, Valorant's run and gun has gone down again. They've continued since the start to make it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and it continues, which is fine. It's crazy because when I first played Valorant, it was actually quite an issue. I haven't even felt it too much of an issue like lately, but I guess people still have, or Riot feels it's still a big issue, and that's fine. I think plenty of people are happy. So yeah, continues to go up. There are some pistol bullet count changes. The Frenzy got a buff. It now has 13 to 15 bullets, and the Ghost from 15 to 13. These are really good changes, actually. The Frenzy, like the Ghost, is quite potent itself. 2 less bullets doesn't make it useless, but makes it a little bit weaker. And the Frenzy being a spray gun, having 2 extra bullets is huge. So I think these are good changes. I'm really happy with these, in my opinion. Now the Phantom. Hello, Phantom. All right. So previously, we know that you did 39 damage from 0 to 15, 35 damage per bullet, 15 to 30, 31 damage per bullet, 30 meter plus. Now we have 39 damage, 0 to 20, and 35 damage, 20 plus. Meaning the Phantom per bullet, 31 no longer exists. So as a base, at every single range, you now do 4 extra damage per bullet. That already is huge. But the best part of all is now up to 20 meters, you still one-tap someone to the head, which is an extra 5 meters is huge. It's absolutely massive. The Phantom is such a strong contender to the point it literally might kill off the Vandal. It 100% could beat the Vandal. Outside of Vandal's very important places in Breeze, Abyss, places with longer sight lines, any balance to shorter range map, it is now a no-brainer. 20 meters covers a huge jump in distance. And not to mention, you also just have net more damage, even 20 meters plus. That is massive. This should put the Phantom a lot more in line with the Vandal or overtake it. We have to see. We have to see what the pros do. We got to see what, like, as all of us start using the Phantom more, we have to see. But my prediction, this shit is strong. This is no joke of a buff. This is strong. Not to mention, you know, the sparkly smoke change that sort of lowered the skill ceiling but made it more, you know, more easy to understand what's happening with smokes and when they're going to disappear. You can now see it from the inside as well. So yeah, that's interesting. It's going to allow it to be a lot easier to get ready to aim, and you can actually use aggressive smokes now and hide in them with kind of getting ready to pop out. I don't know, you can do some cooler stuff now that it's a lot more clear when smokes disappear from the inside. And that sort of goes through the entire patch a little quick. Each point I try to make a little bit quick and give you my honest opinion. It is a massive patch. Massive. New shield, less running and gunning, Phantom being extremely strong, Phoenix being potent, and other agent changes. It's just wow. It shakes it up. Agent changes are actually the least biggest part of this patch. It's really the systematic changes like guns and new shields that really change up the game a ton, and I am hyped AF for this patch and see how people like it dropping on a random Tuesday mid-act too. like yesterday if you were playing ranked tryhard and today you're playing ranked tryhard, you have 2 different gaming experiences. It's kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But honestly, W Riot, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I do have more to talk about. I'm gonna cover the skins once I can get them in game, but anyways, bye bye.